The Orlando Magic and the Golden State Warriors both won their games tonight, advancing as the 7 seeds in the Eastern and Western Conference playoffs. Congrats to both of those teams. And let's start with Hawks versus Magic. Paulo Banchero, not very good in this game. That's not fair. He just struggled to score the basketball, right? Started 1 of 7 from the floor, 9 points at the half. A lot of his points tonight came at the free throw line, as they normally do. He does a really good job of getting into the lane and then getting fouled and making his free throws. 11 of his 17 points came from the line tonight. I thought in the second half he was much better. 3 of 6 from the floor, just a little more efficient. But my favorite thing about him, even when he was coming out of Duke, is he doesn't force anything. Like if his teammates were open, he's more than willing to share the basketball. He had 6 assists tonight because of that. Rebounded the ball okay as well. Franz Wagner didn't score a ton, but his defense on Trae Young was huge. He had a game high in rebounds with 13. So while he wasn't super efficient scoring the basketball, his defense, especially on Trae Young, was really impressive, especially in that first half where Trae Young, was 3 of 10 from the floor. But the reason why the Magic won this game is because of something that they don't really get consistently enough, and that was bench production. Anthony Black and Cole Anthony coming in off the bench, just getting buckets, moving the ball around. Just an incredible game from both of them. They combined for 42 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, and they hit a bunch of threes as well, which is another area where the Orlando Magic really struggled. They were the worst 3-point shooting team in the NBA during the regular season, and the fact that they're 41 and 41 with that poor of an ability to shoot the basketball just speaks to the magnificent defense that they've played this year. They finished second in the NBA in defensive rating. And you saw it tonight. They gave Trae Young and the Hawks just all sorts of fits, which is normal. They give everyone fits, but that production from Cole Anthony and Anthony Black off the bench is why they won that game. Cole Anthony went crazy in the third quarter. He finished with 26 points. He hit 4 threes in 20 minutes off the bench. He was plus 32. Anthony Black, 16 points. When Franz wasn't defending Trae Young, they had Anthony Black on him, which makes sense because Anthony Black's like 6'7", okay? And he played really well. He was a game high plus 38. Magic were plus 38 when he was on the floor. That is just incredible. Young second-year player out of Arkansas who's really kind of figured things out here as of late. And he and Franz Wagner did a great job of frustrating Trae Young to a point where Trae Young got frustrated and he got tossed, got teed up twice. And, it was a little soft. It was, but I get it. Like you're supposed to be the guy. You're in this highly competitive environment and you just can't really seem to get anything going. Like Trae Young struggled mightily. Sure, he finished with 28 points, but he's only 8 of 21 from the field. He only had 6 assists. He was minus 22. I mean, he just got his butt kicked all night. And the Magic size and length and athleticism was problematic for him. And look, to be fair to Trae Young, the Magic size, length, and athleticism is problematic against everyone that they play against. But when you're 6'1", 6'2", maybe, being defended by 6'7" Anthony Black, and then like 6'9" Franz Wagner, like good luck. And he couldn't really get by either one of them. He had a nice little stretch in the third quarter where, like he hit some floaters. He started like 3 of 5 from the floor, and I was like, all right, here we go. Like Trae Young, he's gonna come to life here, and he just never really did. So, and then his night, of course, ends with that ejection. They're probably gonna beat actually, I don't know. Like that, the Bulls Heat matchup in that game is gonna be really interesting. The Bulls are playing really well, 10th in net rating after the All-Star break. Like they're playing their best basketball of the year. And then who wants to bet against the Miami Heat? Not me. So we'll see how that game goes later on in the week. For the Magic, they're going to give the Celtics fits just because of how well they defend, but they're not going to have the offense to win that series. The Celtics probably win that series in 5 or 6 games. They'll sag in. They're going to make the Magic shoot a bunch of threes. And if they make them, then the Magic will have a chance. If Cole Anthony and Anthony Black are as good off the bench as they were tonight, then they'll give the Magic a chance to win some of those games. But I don't think anyone's really expecting for Cole Anthony and Anthony Black to play that well again, at least not on the same night. So Celtics should probably win that series, but the Magic will make it tough just because of how good they are defensively. The other game that we had tonight, Grizzlies and Warriors. I want to start with Desmond Bane. I know that the Grizzlies lost. I know that the main story is going to be Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. Don't worry, I'm going to get to that. But he was their best offensive player. He led what was a near perfect offensive night for the Memphis Grizzlies. I mean, he scored 30 points. He was 5 of 8 from 3. The Grizzlies as a team shot 46% from 3. For comparison, the Warriors only shot 34% from 3. John Morant, he had 22 points on 50% shooting. Jaren Jackson, he had 18 points. He was 4 of 9 from 3. Zach Edey, monster double-double, 14 points, 17 rebounds. Santi Aldama off the bench, he had 14. I mean, they just scored the basketball so incredibly efficiently. You know, they shoot, 46% from 3, and they shoot 49% from the floor, period. I mean, just click and click and click, and they scored the ball so easily, and they did everything they were supposed to do to win this game. They made threes, 12 of 26, 46%. They out-rebounded the Warriors by 11. They had 16 offensive rebounds. The issue was they turned the basketball over 20 times, and you can't do that. Not at the NBA level or the high school level or the college level or the middle school level. If you turn the basketball over 20 times, you're not going to beat anybody. You're not. And I hate that the game essentially ended on that 5-second call on the Memphis Grizzlies, but it also perfectly encapsulated everything that game was. The Warriors just had this intense pressure defense, and they did a really good job of playing with active hands and poking the ball loose and seeming to come up with every loose ball. And they just did everything that they were supposed to. And that 5-second violation showed that completely. Like the Warriors were chest to shoulder with every guy that they were defending for that entire 5 seconds. They did an excellent job defensively tonight. And it's ultimately why they won. That tied with the fact that, Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler both went crazy. If the Warriors are going to score 27 points off turnovers, Jimmy Butler's going to get 38 and Steph's going to get 37, then they're going to beat everybody. I have no doubts about it. And let's start with Steph. He's just Steph, man. He just does exactly what you need him to do. He hit every big shot late. He scored the Warriors' final 10 points. He hit 4 free throws, and he hit 2 big threes. And as soon as you let him go, you're like, yeah, like those are going in. Like I have 0 doubts about it. He's still got the juice in every way. Like his ability to bring the ball up the floor, give it up, run around for 20 seconds, catch and shoot, and make it. Like there was one possession, and this is going to sound dumb, but where he's like being pressured, so he sprints up the floor, drops it off to Draymond Green, loops around to the baseline, comes back around, catch and shoot, and he shot it long. And I'm just like, I'm watching it. I'm like, how do you shoot that long? Like, how are you not just exhausted? And usually when people are exhausted, they leave the ball short, but he shot it long. And I was like, that doesn't even make any sense. So he was amazing, kind of struggled a little bit there in the first half, but the third and fourth quarter, he came alive as he tends to do. He finished the game with 37 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and he was 6 of 13 from 3. And as great as he was, none of it happens without Jimmy Butler. Playoff Jimmy, still very much a thing. He had 21 points and 4 assists at half. And you're just like, yeah, playoff Jimmy, definitely still a thing. He finished with 38 points, career high with the Warriors. 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. And it's just normal playoff Jimmy. He just got to the rim whenever he wanted. He got fouled. He took 18 free throws and just made life easier on Steph because he's another guy that the other team has to really worry about. And Steph Curry can go to the bench and the Warriors can, maintain their pace or even build on leads because they have Jimmy Butler on the floor. And he's a really good passer. He cuts really well. He allows them to shoot more free throws. So he's been just an amazing pickup for them. Other guys, Draymond Green is still Draymond Green. I know a lot of people don't like him. He was plus 12 tonight. No one else was plus 12. Okay, that was a game high. Moses Moody has become a very impactful player for the Golden State Warriors. Meanwhile, Jonathan Kuminga, back-to-back DNPs in the 2 biggest games of the year for the Golden State Warriors. Moses Moody He defended Ja for most of the game, did a good job. He's big, long, physical. He did a really good job, had a couple blocks. Quentin Post has been a really nice pickup for them. He gives them good minutes, just another big guy who can stretch the floor and shoot it, and he's not afraid to get in there and rebound. Gary Payton continues to be the shortest power forward to ever have a positive impact on a basketball team. It's really, really incredible. They're good enough to win the whole thing. Will they? Probably not. It's probably going to be, the Thunder coming out of the West. But if the Warriors did, I wouldn't be surprised if they met them in the Western Conference Finals. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. With that being said, this series against the Rockets is going to be incredibly tough. No way around it. I think they'll beat the Rockets in 6 just because the Rockets lack the offensive prowess and the experience. With that being said, this is an incredibly tough matchup. If you had to build a Steph Curry defender in a lab, they would look something like Amen Thompson. And Steph Curry's really had his struggles against the Rockets this year, only shooting like 36% from the field, only averaging 16 points per game in those 3 meetings against the Rockets during the regular season. So they're going to give him fits. Ime Udoka is going to have those guys revved up, ready to go, and they're not going to play scared because they're playing for Ime Udoka. Alperen Sengun has kind of had his way with Draymond Green, so he's going to give Green some fits, but I think a lot of these games are going to be close, and in close games, give me the best player, Steph Curry. Give me the second best player, Jimmy Butler, and give me the team that's been there before and has played in big playoff games, and that is undoubtedly the Warriors. Like, as much as I love this Rockets team, outside of Steven Adams and Fred VanVleet, those guys have never played in the playoffs. So it's going to be a great series, but I am going to take the Warriors in 6 in that series. The Grizzlies, they should beat whoever wins that Mavericks and Kings game tomorrow night, and they'll play the Thunder. And I'm probably going to take the Thunder in 5. And that's not a slight towards the Grizzlies. That's more of a compliment to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to check out this video. I'll be back again tomorrow night breaking down the 9-10 matchups that we're going to have. Those games are hopefully going to be a lot of fun. So can't wait to do those. Make sure you like, subscribe. It is 1:25 a.m. where I'm at. So your boy's out here grinding. If you're still here, please subscribe and make sure you check out all the other stuff I got going on. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.